It's Tuesday and it's time for Falcon Focus. Hello and welcome to Falcon Focus, episode number 17 here in season number 5. We're presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My name is Matt Menzel, our focus, and segment number 2 will be on acrobatics and tumbling as they get ready to host the NCATA Division III National Tournament here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. That will take place Thursday through Saturday. We'll be joined by senior top Peyton Tarmina, along with senior base Haley Comprude. But up first, we talk men's volleyball as they get ready for the NAC tournament, a quarterfinal at MSOE tonight at 7 o'clock. They serve up set 1 of the best of 5 and being joined by sophomore outside hitter Will Wood. Will, thanks for your time. And let's start by talking about your background in volleyball first. And when did you first start playing the sport?
So I've been the newest to the sport on the team. I started playing as a junior in high school, and I wasn't big into the sport at first, but both my parents played. They both got me into it. And I quit basketball my senior year to play club volleyball instead. So really just became my favorite sport within a year or two.
So you had no volleyball experience prior to your junior year in high school?
I wouldn't say that there's any. I never really played casually. Maybe with my family once or twice, but that probably didn't count as actual experience, I'd say.
So why did you decide that was the time to start playing the sport?
I don't know. Just my brother was joining the team as a freshman. I thought it'd be fun to play with him as a junior, and we played together for 2 years. That was a lot of fun.
Is high school volleyball, boys or men's volleyball, is it growing in the state of Minnesota? Is it established?
It just got established recently. I'm pretty sure 2022 it was voted in, and this season is going to be the first sanctioned season for boys. And I know it was the biggest growing sport in Minnesota because I'm pretty sure there were around 70 teams my senior year. It wasn't considered a full-fledged sport, but 70 teams for club, it basically felt like a sanctioned sport.
Sure. So you started as a junior. Did I read correctly that you were a captain too of your volleyball team?
My senior year I was.
Your senior year. What did that honor mean to you being a captain of a team 2 years into playing the sport?
It was a great feeling that a lot of guys looked up to me on my team, and it was nice to be seen as a leader. For basketball or other sports, I was basically riding the bench. It was nice to be voted in as captain.
And from a volleyball standpoint, team-wise, you guys won a conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
You also finished, fourth at state one
Yeah.
year? What made those teams so successful, that team so successful?
Our conference championship was my junior year, where we had a really tight game against Eden Prairie was the
Okay.
other team. We 3-0'd them. We went back and forth earlier in the season, and we had a huge 3-0 win to take the conference championship. And my senior year we got 4th in state. That was a huge accomplishment for our program. And we lost to the state champions in the semifinals.
Okay.
We lost 17-19 in the 5th set.
Oh, wow.
And we thought if we beat that team, we could have probably won the whole thing.
So you guys were right there.
Yeah.
What was your school's nickname, and who were your big rivals?
Or I don't know about a nickname, but we were Shakopee Sabres, is what we call it.
Okay.
Biggest rival, I might have to think about that. For basketball, I know it's Eden Prairie.
Okay.
For guys volleyball, their team was generally newer, so we didn't really have a rival like that for volleyball because it wasn't a full-fledged sport yet.
Mm-hmm.
But,
So you mentioned you played volleyball, you played basketball. Any other
Mhm.
sports growing up?
I played soccer in middle school, mainly soccer and basketball, until I moved fully to basketball in middle school, and I switched from basketball to volleyball in high school.
And you also have 4 siblings.
Yes.
Are they all athletes, or have they played sports?
They all play sports. I have 2 brothers who are one's 2 years older than me, one's 2 years younger. We all played basketball like our whole lives. They played baseball growing up. I didn't really enjoy baseball. I have 2 little sisters who are 7 and 10 who are just getting into sports.
How much fun was that, though, growing up with having brothers and playing the different sports around the house?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. We're always playing together around the house. Basketball got very competitive. Who was the best of the 3 of us? Trying to figure that out with every sport.
And you're from Savage, Minnesota.
Yes.
Tell us about Savage. What kind of town is it?
Well, I live in a suburb about a half hour from Minneapolis, south. And I don't know. It's pretty similar to life here in Wisconsin, I would say. Just both Midwest states, really close to each other. and not too much else. My favorite thing about Minnesota is just how much family we have in the area.
Okay.
We have, like, I'd like to say 20, 30 people in our family around, and everyone's within, like, a half-hour drive.
Oh, very nice. And it obviously not terribly long to get down here to Mequon, Wisconsin to come watch you play volleyball. Basketball-wise, did you grow up a Timberwolves fan? Were you a big, NBA fan or Twins fan or Vikings fan? Do you like all the pro teams there?
I do like all the Minnesota teams. I was a huge Timberwolves fan. We went all the time. We went to a lot of games when we were younger.
Who's your favorite player?
It was definitely when Kevin Love ran the team.
Okay.
That was our favorite player. He really put the team on his back then. We didn't have a very good team like we do now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now battling for a top spot in the Western Conference. How did you end up here at Concordia?
Well, this was just one of the schools I was looking at. I was looking for a Christian school, and there were around 5 I had narrowed down to. And this one had, well, I was a criminal justice major. I just switched, but that's one of the reasons I came here, because this one had a good program for that. Had a nice interview with one of the teachers there. And I was talking to our coach, Curtis Madsen, and he was the first school who was willing to recruit me, or he was the first school I committed to, I should say.
So what did you switch your major to?
Next year I'll be starting exercise physiology.
Okay.
That seems a lot more interesting to me, is what I've found. And looking into career-wise, I think I would rather go that route.
So then you end up here at Concordia, you get the opportunity to play college volleyball. What was for you, or what has been the biggest adjustment you've had to make? Okay, 2 years of high school volleyball to now college. What's been the biggest difference in maybe the competition level?
Well, it's just a huge upgrade in every situation, but the biggest issue for me was I only played middle in high school.
Okay.
That was the only position I played. I was very used to that, and I came here as an outside hitter recruited, which is, for those of you who don't know, you have to pass the whole game, and I never passed in high school. So going from not passing high school to passing these guys like Spencer or Tate, or Andy, who can just rip top Spencer, is really hard. Last year was a little scary. Getting used to it.
Well, you got the opportunity to play. I know you were limited last year and got the opportunity to take in a lot of the action. But what did you learn from maybe watching and taking in last season?
Just learning, or the biggest thing from last season to this season is I found how to just stay loose and confident, because when you're watching your guys just go for it, no one's really holding back.
Sure. And no one is holding back, and you look at the way this Falcon team is playing right now, hopefully keep things rolling as they are coming off a sweep of Rockford on Friday to wrap up the regular season, get ready for the NAC tournament quarterfinal tonight against the MSOE Raiders. You've come through, though, with some big-time kills. You mentioned moving to the outside hitter and find yourself fourth in the team in kills. Have you been pleased, at least so far, with how your sophomore year has gone?
I have been. I had a rough start figuring out just how to play on the court. It's a lot different than playing in practice, but like, for example, my hitting percent has gotten three times better than when it was at the beginning of the season. So it was a rough adjustment at first, but it's been a lot of fun playing with the guys on the court, contributing to the game.
In a couple of your big-time matches, you had a couple of 13-kill showings. You had 13 kills at Aurora, hit 229, but then had 13 kills here against Illinois Tech, hit 458. When you look back at those two matches, what worked for you those matches? Why were you able to, record so many kills but also hit at a high percentage?
I mean, part of it is, the sets are right there. I think we have really good setter-hitter connections on our team. All the guys got great connections with each other. And those were just some of the games where I was just able to, just focus in, and I was getting a lot of balls set to me. And I was able to find holes in the block.
And you're probably used going back to your prep days to the block, and so you look at some of your totals so far this year, 31 total blocks. Falcons as a team ranked 6th in the entire nation when it comes to blocks. You have Lucas Barris. He is number 1 in the nation when it comes to blocks. That block has been a big strength for this team, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. We even average less digs than a lot of other teams, and we attribute that just to how good our blocking is.
So what's it like, outside of the blocking, what's it like to play alongside athletes like Spencer Herman but also Tate Miller when it comes to the attack?
Well, it was a big shock last year. Like, I've never seen guys hit as hard as them as when I got here, and it's so much fun. We're all really close friends, so it was nice. You got to fight to get to their level almost. Or I'd hope I'm on their level, but you got to.
You're absolutely getting there. If you're not there yet,
Yeah.
You're certainly getting there. There's no doubt about that, and your confidence growing as the season's gone along. So you play alongside the likes of Spencer Herman, Tate Miller, and you look at some of the leadership that Spencer Herman brings, also Andy Ellingham, a couple of the seniors that were honored during Senior Day against Illinois Tech. What have those two brought or meant to this team as far as that leadership goes? What have you learned from just, watching those guys go out and do their thing?
Those two are definitely probably our biggest leaders on and off the court, along with Ben Grohl. And our three captains have really taught a lot of guys what it means to like work harder and just be as a team. Because last year we had a little struggles, like teamwork wise, and all the captains and our coach have agreed this is like the closest year our team's ever had.
And you've talked about that setter-hitter relationship with Logan Kebasek, the team's primary setter. How has that relationship worked for you and Logan? Has it been something that, from day one you guys have been in sync? Has it taken a little bit of time to get on the same page? Obviously, it seems like you guys are on the same page now.
Yeah, maybe it took a little bit. I would run under the ball sometimes. He would set over sometimes beginning of the season. But I'm friends with Logan, which is nice because I've heard other teams, I didn't experience this, who they have like setters and hitters who just straight up don't like each other.
Sure.
We don't have that problem here, which is very nice.
No, it looks like the chemistry has been really good for this Falcon team. But as we sit here, the regular season is over. The Falcons finishing with a record of 12-10, a tough non-conference slate, and challenge especially early on. They've gotten better as the season's gone on. 8 victories, 4 defeats in conference play. When you look at the regular season, how would you maybe summarize the season, or how do you feel the team is playing right now?
I feel our team is playing better than we ever did. Playing teams like Loris and Carthage, who are considered top 5 in the country right now, helped us step up where we needed to.
And you get an opportunity to face MSOE in the NAC tournament. It's a 4-5 seeded matchup from MSOE. And remember this, when you look at the history of the NAC tournament, history tends to repeat itself. We'll see if that happens tonight. But MSOE last year, a number 4 seed, they got swept by number 5 Concordia Chicago. Falcons, they're trying to avoid being upset. They were upset last year as a number 3, so they're trying to do the upsetting here tonight against MSOE. You guys saw the Raiders at MSOE back on March the 12th, got swept. What do you remember about that matchup, and what do you maybe expect tonight?
Well, first off, that's one of the games our team looks back on as like the game where we did not show up when we needed to. So everyone's itching to get back into that. We have the basically same game plan going into as we did last time. We know we can beat them if everyone has a good game together. But yeah, last time was not our best game. We all agree on that.
And that was back on March the 12th, and I'm sure typical coach speak, and rightfully so. MSOE will say the same thing. Falcons will say the same thing. We're not the same team we were back on March 12th here today, so we'll see. Winner plays either number 8 Lakeland or number 1 Dominican in a semifinal coming up on Thursday. Is there a different feel now? Okay, the regular season's over. It's postseason time. Does it feel different, going into tonight? Does it feel like, stakes are that much greater, or does it feel like it's just another typical match?
A little bit of both. Like, some of our guys have stressed that, it's another game. We can play how we've been playing. We don't need to, try to do something extra, and then it probably wouldn't work out as well as if you just play your game like normal. Our captain's been trying to say, even the guys who are going to graduate, they're like, it's just another game. We got to be ready like it's every other game.
I'm venturing to guess big key right now is just finding that consistency, because you guys have shown, the ability to compete with anybody. But a matter of keeping your foot on the pedal, maybe from start to finish at times, and stringing points together. You just have to find that consistency. Is that a big key?
That is a big key. If we can get consistency in our passing and blocking, when we have really good stretches, it's where we go on runs against any team. We've taken sets off North Central and Carthage.
Sure.
So our consistency is a big thing. When we have our offense rolling, we can score on anybody.
So to wrap things up for you, and obviously we hope the season goes on beyond tonight and on to Thursday, maybe on to Saturday. Outside of this season, you've learned a lot here in your sophomore year. What is your mindset going into the offseason then? When the offseason does come, what areas of your game do you want to improve for year number 3?
I just want to work on, or a big thing is out-of-system balls. When they're off the net, are very hard to get your feet to the ball, is
Sure.
how we put it, and stay behind it. I would love to get better at that. In the offseason, just play as much as I can, lift as much as I can.
Absolutely. I'm still blown away by the fact you started playing organized volleyball as a junior in high school. That's wild. So in a short amount of time, here you are as a sophomore making noise for the Falcons. That's pretty impressive stuff. But, Will, appreciate your time. All the best to you and the Falcons tonight.
Yep, thanks for having me.
That's Will Wood, kind enough to join us, the sophomore outside hitter for Falcon men's volleyball. And again, they play in a quarterfinal, 7 o'clock tonight at MSOE. Check out cwfalcons.com for more information. When we come back, our focus shifts to acrobatics and tumbling as we continue with Falcon Focus.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in the recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question. Is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our #1 focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
Physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not runner-up, number 1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
Welcome back to Falcon Focus, episode number 17 here in season number 5. We're presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Our focus from men's volleyball, now the acrobatics and tumbling as they get ready to host the NCATA Division III National Tournament here Thursday through Saturday, again here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. Check out cwfalcons.com for more information on the complete schedule of the various schools that will be here throughout the course of the weekend. But we talk Falcons, acro, and tumbling, being joined by Peyton Tarmina, a senior top, and a senior base, and Haley Komprud, 2 out of the 4 seniors that were honored during Senior Day on Saturday when the Falcons took on Augustana, South Dakota. And let's start there for you two and get both of your thoughts on what that Senior Day meant to you guys, having been a part of this Falcon program now for 4+ years.
It just meant so much to me, like all the work we put in all 4 years. It was just a great experience just to see all like the support we've had, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, just being able to get recognized as seniors and being on the team.
Yeah, and again, 2 out of the 4, the other 2 that were honored, Amanda Owens along with Eliana Schmidt. What have they meant to you guys? What have they meant to this program, just the whole senior class?
Oh, they've meant so much to us. Like, we always joke about it. We're the Final Four. We came in with 11 of us, and it's just so great to just have the 4 of us just be through the whole journey together and go through all the hard times together. And it's just, they've been great support to all of us.
Yeah, just really seeing all of us grow together. It's very exciting and sad to be done, but yeah.
Well, hopefully some great things to come. More memories to be made here this weekend with the tournament here from the John Book Fieldhouse. This might be a tougher question to answer as you kind of reflect back at your time as a Falcon, but how do you feel like you've grown as people? How have you grown, as athletes in your time with this program?
I can definitely say I'm more confident in myself now than I was coming in freshman year. I feel freshman year I was like very timid at everything. So definitely my confidence and just going up there now in the air and just knowing that I will hit it rather than being scared in a way.
Yeah, and just learning patience. We've never been on a sport where we're competing for the same spot as everyone else, and so just learning where your place is and that you will get your time to shine. And yeah, that it is an individual sport as much as it is a team sport, but yeah.
Notice that, a couple of, maybe about a week ago now, the acrobatics and tumbling on their Instagram posted some quotes that you guys had for your senior day celebration, and one of the things you mentioned was to not forget your why. What's your why?
My why? Oh, that's kind of tough. My why is just because I always just have loved the sport, and you always have to remember why you even started. So when I did gymnastics, like I've always just wanted to quit, but you have to always remember like you love it and you have the passion for it, and you just can never ever give up on yourself. So.
And I noticed that you talked about some of the fun times, the singing, and some of the road trips you guys have had. What's your go-to song, or what's the atmosphere like on some of those bus trips?
A lot of Pitch Perfect.
The go-to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really, this team is just so much fun. We all love each other so much. The atmosphere is just very great.
How about for both of you? I know, Peyton, we've talked about this in the past, but when you look at when you first came to Concordia, how long did it take you to get adjusted to what acrobatics and tumbling is all about?
Oh, I tell the recruits all the time it takes a whole year. And
Yeah.
even now, I'm still learning something new every day. So it really just takes a long time just to adapt. And really, I'd say halfway through sophomore year, you kind of know what you're doing by then. So
Yeah, and that's what's really nice about this sport is that you're continuing to learn something new every day, and you can't really get bored with it.
So was it also for you about maybe the sophomore year, give or take, that you
Yeah.
finally got more comfortable?
Yeah, maybe even towards the end of sophomore year.
You both came here with gymnastics backgrounds. Peyton, when you look back, first of all, from a gymnastics standpoint, what highlights stand out from growing through the sport of gymnastics?
I'd say the tumbling aspect, it was pretty easy to just. It's pretty easy to just come in and be able to tumble. Where like the topping aspect, that was very hard to learn, and I just think that it was a good benefit that I could not have to learn the tumbling and just have to learn the topping part, which was nice in a way.
And you said that there were times you wanted to quit gymnastics.
Yeah.
What pushed you through, or how did you, why did you want to quit? Did you just get to the point where it's like, hey, I'm tired of this? Is it getting to the point where I'm not having fun, or did you have to refocus?
It's just mentally and physically exhausting. Honestly, the constant reps and just how much you train a week. Like, I went from 25 hours a week to now, what is it, like 12 hours a week?
That's
like,
a big difference.
Yeah, so it's definitely the time management was harder back then, and it was just so much, especially going with the school all day, where you come in here and you have more time to do with your hands, and it's just more fun now. So,
Haley, how about for you from a gymnastics standpoint? What are some of your memories, at least prior to coming to Concordia?
Well, for coming into basing, I definitely had to learn a whole new sport. I didn't really start tumbling until this year because I got injured freshman year. So I was basically learning everything new. So I think that's really fun. I think it's really exciting to learn how to stunt, and
Now, going back, did you experience some of the same things
Oh.
that Peyton has experienced, where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, what am I doing? This is a lot of time. It's I'm
Yeah.
tired. Mentally, I'm exhausted. I can't do it. Did you have to push through?
Yeah, with club gymnastics, I definitely felt that. And then with high school gymnastics, it was more just that I felt like I was getting tired and wasn't really learning new things anymore because I was getting older. And so that's why I think it's very exciting to be able to learn new things and be able to do it.
As a base, how challenging is it? Peyton, I'll ask you this about being the top in a second, too, because I know we've talked about this in the past. But as a base, just how challenging is it knowing that you're responsible, like as a team, like you're holding up your teammates. And if anybody moves by an inch or two, that could be a disaster.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure, knowing that we have lives in our hands. I think that's kind of what makes it exciting, being able to do stuff, and then being able to take away the spots is very exciting, but still scary to know that if you drop them, it could be very bad.
And how about from being on top? You know, you look at that and having to trust your teammates. First of all, does that take a little bit to build that trust, or do you have that trust from the get-go, and it's kind of like they have to lose it first?
Definitely takes a little bit. Like coming into like this year and last year, I definitely lost some of my main bases, so it was really hard to just trust the new people coming in because they didn't ultimately know what they were doing, and still nowadays they don't know what they were doing because you're always learning. But it definitely takes a lot of courage to be up there, and once you're in there and they're tossing you, it's almost a way it's my body awareness at that point, so whatever I do, it's up on me. But just definitely a lot of trust and confidence.
And a lot of balance and focus. I mean,
Yeah.
you're upside down, right side up. I mean, there's a lot going on up top. But you're from Geneva, Illinois. You're from Janesville, Wisconsin. Is acro and tumbling a big attraction to why you came to Concordia, or what went into that decision? Why Concordia?
Oh, my story is not very. I actually was committed to a D2 school
Okay.
before I came here. So ultimately, this was the first acro school close to my home, and I didn't want to go 13 hours away where I originally was coming from. So that's why I'm here.
How far away is Geneva from here?
2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and then for me, one of our seniors, our freshman year, I grew up doing gymnastics with her, so she told me that this is really fun and that I'd want to check it out, and so that acro is why I came here.
Throughout all the wins and losses and everything in between, when you think about your time as a Falcon, what memories do quickly come to mind about your time as a Falcon?
Just being out there with your team on a meet day, it's just so much fun and just so much energy. It's just crazy how you can go from practice where we're so tired and then just go out there and show everything that we've accomplished throughout the week. It's just amazing and very rewarding to us.
Yeah, being able to cheer on your teammates and having them cheer you on is also very rewarding. Being able to show off what we've been doing during practice.
And found out that you guys sing Pitch Perfect on bus trips. Do you partake in Pitch Perfect?
No, I'm
Karaoke?
not. I'm not
No?
really a singer
No?
or a dancer.
Do you guys have a favorite trip, though? Is there a trip that comes to mind when you think about the travel over the years? Is there a favorite trip that pops up?
Definitely.
I really liked Texas last
Yeah,
year.
I'd definitely say Texas last year. That
Yeah.
was just so much fun.
Yeah.
We did so many things like outside of the meet and inside the meet where we were always just together as a team and just making like silly videos or anything. It's just so much fun.
Yeah. We even went to a rage room
Yeah,
Is
that
it okay?
after the meet
Have you guys been to Texas prior to?
yeah, we went for
the year before.
yeah.
Okay.
For spring break.
But Texas is where it was at.
Yeah,
Is it-
definitely.
And flying there instead of driving.
Yeah, that was
For you two personally, and take the team aspect out for a second, how do you feel your season's gone this year? Have you been pleased with the way you guys have been able to perform?
I'd say there's been ups and downs. I'm definitely pleased with like how much work we put in is definitely showing, but ultimately there is some downs, and I just feel like the judges have been super hard this year, and we don't know why. And I feel like as a team we've all agreed on that, but I definitely say there's highs and lows.
Yeah, personally, I feel very proud of myself. I've gotten, and Peyton worked with me, we've gotten a lot of new skills this year that have never done or someone hasn't done while I've been here, like our high hand in 7-element acro. And it hasn't always scored as well as we've wanted it to, but that did qualify for the event finals.
Now, as a team, you guys have a couple of wins against Adrian. When you look at some of the losses, some very close losses, I feel like this team is so close to getting over the hump as a team. When you look at some of the scores, is that a fair statement? You guys are right there. It's just a matter of just getting over the hump and getting over.
Yeah.
Something that Coach Sarah always tells us is that she doesn't want us to peak early in the season. And I think we're right where we need to be. That she always says is that she wants us to peak right before D3 Nationals, so then we can just get out there and really win.
And here's a great opportunity to show off your stuff coming up on a Thursday. I want to break down a typical meet for a second to get your thoughts on the way you guys feel like the team has performed. Let's start with compulsory. How do you feel like that area has worked out this year?
I definitely say compulsory is very strong this year than it has been in the past years. Our compulse acro, we've really just did so many reps to just help build that confidence, because I know when me and Lexi go out there, we're very nervous because it's the first event, but it just helped build our confidence, and we've done pretty well with that one.
How about acro? As far as the acro event,
I'd say with 7 element, we're doing pretty good. Yeah, with all of it, I think it's just getting in reps, and then with 6 element, I know it's very hard for them because it's 2 groups going out, and it's hard enough doing one group, and so them trying to get their timing together, and then no falls is very hard. But
how do you feel the pyramid event's been coming together?
I think pretty well. We're both in all of them. I think it's continuing to get better, and yeah.
Peyton, how about the toss event?
Oh, I love toss event. Honestly, we didn't start off very strong this year with toss event, but I think now that we have all of what we can do out there, it's just amazing to see, to show our skills and what a D3 program can do. So
How about tumbling?
tumbling is fun. I just love. Me and Ellen were very bummed that we didn't beat the school record. We were trying to push that over 8.45, but honestly, I think we're very strong in tumbling event this year than we have in the past years.
For both of you, how's the team event coming together?
I think pretty well. We normally see a lot more falls during team event, and we've had almost every meet no falls in team event, which is very exciting for this team.
How challenging is that team event, putting it all together, and there's so many different moving parts and just everybody being in sync?
It's very challenging. It takes a lot of endurance for that team event. So we really rely on our teammates during that time, so we just make sure that they're cheering, and that just really motivates us to get us going. So.
Yeah.
For each year, your favorite event and why?
Oh, I didn't like toss event coming in as a freshman, but I love it now. It's just so fun to just flip in the air after they toss me. So.
Last year, my favorite event was pyramid, but this year I think is acro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as mentioned, Thursday through Saturday, the NCATA Division III tournament will be here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. Thursday, it all starts at 10 a.m. The first matchup is number 4, East Texas Baptist against number 5, Texas Lutheran. The Falcons will compete as number 3 seed, hosting number 6, Stevenson at 6 p.m. The number 1 seed is Mary Hardin Baylor. They get a bye until Friday. How excited are you guys to not only compete in the Division III National Tournament, but to be here inside the John Book Fieldhouse and do it in front of the home crowd?
Yeah, I told Haley this is the best way to end a senior year. It's just to be here hosting nationals. I don't think you could end in a better way. So.
I agree.
What do you guys remember about you're the first D3 champions a couple of years back? The banner is up here inside the John Book Fieldhouse, but go back a couple of years ago, Stevenson was your first opponent or one of the opponents you guys knocked off and route to that title. What do you remember about that season?
I just remember it being so crazy. That year we were so motivated, and it was just crazy to see a 254 at the end of the season. We can get to that, and we didn't believe ourselves at the start of that, and it's just to see the potential and the growth throughout the year was just truly amazing to all of us.
That was back in 2022, and then last year you guys were able to compete down in Texas. Mary Hardin Baylor would go on to win the D3 championship. Is that experience or is that environment different from a typical meet? Does it feel different?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a lot more pressure. And just trying to compete 3 days in a row is very difficult. One day is already a lot on us, but yeah, to try and pick it back up, it's definitely a lot of endurance. And yeah.
For both of you, do you have a pre-meet routine? Obviously, this is going to be a little bit of a later start. Yours to maybe an afternoon start. This is going to be 6 o'clock. Does that affect the pre-meet routine at all?
Yes and no, because I'm not used to having teams here. Because I like to pace in the field house before I go out there. That's just my thing. I listen to music and I just get in my head in the zone. But we can't because there will be a team competing before us. So definitely find a way to like balance that and just more get your head in the game rather than focus on what the teams are doing out here already. So
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. We all listen to music in the locker room, so I think that'll be the same. I think we might even do better not being in the morning. We all get good amount of rest, and then being able to watch the meet before us and really see what other people are putting out there.
So again, the Falcons will compete at 6 o'clock versus Stevenson. They got a team they knocked off to start their quest to a championship a couple of years ago. 6 o'clock, full day of acro and tumbling, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can see the schedule, the format, cwfalcons.com. Finally, for both of you, as seniors, what's your major? What's next? What's life look like after Concordia is all said and done?
my major is mass communications and I minor in social work. And I'm undecided right now. I'm not too sure what I want to do yet, so.
Yep. I am majoring in public relations. I'm also undecided on exactly what I'm doing, but I plan to eventually go to cosmetology school.
Are you guys both done this school year, or do you have another? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, congrats to both of you.
Thank
Peyton
you.
Haley, thanks a lot for your time. All the best to you and the Falcons. And again, you can see them in action coming up on Thursday at 6 o'clock. Can't wait. Again, NCATA Division III National Tournament here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. That will do it for Falcon Focus. No show next Tuesday. We next join you coming up on the 23rd of April and 3 straight weeks to wrap up our coverage here this school year. Thanks for watching Falcon Focus, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.